shadows, to create some depth, but I'm sure most of you can easily detect what a 2D anime 2D images are. Okay? Actually, lahat naman two-dimensional na mga images. Kahit yung 3D, render natin siya into an image, right? And then we have 3D. So we have X, Y, and Z. Meron na tayong depth. So as you can see, Elsa, and may 3D version din si Mario. Okay? Ano naman yung well, we can't say which is better, because for me, walang mas maganda or mas pangit or something. O, hindi natin siya pwedeng i-compare. Okay? The difference could be just it's just a tool or a genre, 'di ba? Parang hindi naman talaga, or very subjective. If you have tastes in music, I'm sure you have difference in terms of perspective. Ang iba sa inyo mas gusto yung ganito type of music, ang iba mas gusto yung classical, merong mga gusto sa inyo may pop or rock or something like that. Okay, so I'm not into music, so as you can see, I am struggling sa terms ng mga genres nila ng music, but subjective kasi. So we can't say if 2D is better than 3D, but of course we can have our own personal opinion. Okay? So some of you probably might prefer 2D, and that's okay. And some of you are preferring 3D, then that's also okay. I'm not may mga nagsasabi na mawawala daw ang 2D. I don't think so. So 2D will stay because that's a different tool. Okay? Meron kasing mga stories din na best i-portray in a 2D animated film rather than 3D. And meron din mga 3D na concept, may mga story concepts na mas magandang i-portray in 3D. Okay, so there's no debate regarding which is better. Now, we also have difference between traditional and digital. So what I'm displaying here is a difference between a traditional 2D animation. As you can see in the left side of the screen, meron dyan, pen and paper. So, meron pa rin gumagawa niyan ngayon, even during the digital age, meron pa rin mga traditional na animation. Meron din, since yun nga, nasa computer age na tayo, meron na tayong digital animation where you don't need to flip. Nakikita nyo, meron yung technique sa yung kamay, paghawak ng papel, para makikita nyo kung okay na ba yung movement. Hindi na natin yun, or sa digital, sa mga nagdi-digital animation, you don't need that. You have keyframes, as you can see on the right side of the screen. Meron siyang timeline dyan sa baba na sinascrub niyo yung mouse, and then nakikita mo na kung ano yung image na ipi-play. Okay? So, if you're interested, this is Toon Boom Harmony, yung software na ginagamit, at least for this image. There are other software that are available. I think mas marami or most 2D animation companies are using Toon Boom. Meron din na gumagamit ng Adobe Animate. Ito yung before Adobe Flash, pero ni-rebrand na nila into Adobe Animate. I'm not sure pa kung ano yung ibang mga software, but you can check those out na lang. Okay? So that's the difference between traditional and digital. Okay? Of course, when we talk about three-dimensional, digital siya. Kasi unless unless stop motion tas video mo siya pa isa-isa, then that could be 3D. I'm not sure if we can classify that as a 3D animation. But but yeah, 3D animated software ay may mga 3D animation software na nagagamit to create such, like this one. I included 3D animation in the trends dahil nag-expand pa siya. It's still new. I think the first full-length 3D animated film was Toy Story, if I'm not mistaken. Yung one. So, bago pa rin siya. Kung titingnan mo siya in history, relatively new pa ang 3D animation. And even at this point, nag-continue pa siya mag-expand. Okay? What are the software that we use for 3D animation? Kung nakita niyo nasa left side, that is Maya. That's Autodesk Maya. This is what we are using in our university sa pagturo ng 3D animation. Ito yung, well, mas ginagamit ng mga big companies. Yung Autodesk Maya. But of course, syempre may cost siya. Mas mahal siya. But for educational purposes, it's free for students. So if you are connected with a school, a university, even if you're not an animation student, pag meron silang, actually, pwede ka mag-send ng matriculation copy ng matriculation form, then they could give you a free 1 year. Yearly lang siya i-update. So you can learn 3D in Maya. The right side of the screen is Blender. That's free. That's an open source software. And I think marami na ang gumagamit ng Blender ngayon because of that. For education or even commercial use, it's free because it's an open source software. So kung not interested kayo gumastos or well, pwede naman pareho nyo pag-aralan, pareho naman siya may free kung student kayo, then you can also learn 3D modeling up to 3D modeling, rigging, modeling, texturing, rigging, animation, and rendering in both software. Sige, ano pa yung mga trends? Ano pa yung mga pwede natin i-expect in the future? Okay? Kaya nga, as I've mentioned, I included 3D animation sa trends dahil it's still parang mas nag-develop pa siya. Mas marami pa siyang pupuntahan. Okay? 2D animation is here to stay. Pero siya yung mas stable na siya. We can also integrate animation in our virtual reality or augmented reality. Okay? If you're familiar, I'm sure most of you are familiar. Most of you are gamers. You're familiar with VR and AR. Well, the difference ng virtual reality is meron kayong headset at nakikita nyo parang nasa loob kayo ng isang different world. That's why it's called the virtual reality. But when we say augmented reality, most are using mobile phones to integrate a 3D object or even a 2D object into your camera. So the term augmented means may dinagdag, 'di ba? So you can see your surroundings, and then may idadagdag. If you're familiar with Pokemon Go, then meron siyang, actually yun yung selling point niya, the augmented reality part, na may kita na ninyo yung Pokemon na nandyan sa camera, nandyan sa surroundings ninyo. Okay? But this is also developing. I recently saw a video na sa ano naman, ang augmented reality ay nag-evolve out na siya from phone. Kasi most of our AR devices are using phone. So nakikita nyo yung mga tao yung mga naglalaro ng augmented reality are using their phones. But research, may mga bagong researches ngayon at na-develop na ang eyeglasses na may camera, and napo-project niya na yung augmented reality. That could be our future. So, may salamin kayo, nakikita nyo may mga colors or may mga animation na nandyan na may kita nyo sa lenses ng ano nyo, glasses ninyo. That could be interesting, para na tayong nasa sci-fi na mga movies. But also, syempre marami siyang ethical considerations, privacy considerations, and even safety. Dahil baka nag-enjoy ka na, nanonood ng animation, baka hindi mo nakita may mabubunggo ka na pala. Okay, so this is still parang developing, and maganda siyang i-explore pa. But of course, sabi ko nga, marami siyang considerations. So, actually, I'm interested in this topic, yung virtual reality or augmented reality. Paano kaya siya magpe-play out in the future? And yeah, maybe the ICT will be parang makaka-focus dito sa technology na ito. Okay. You also have projection mapping. So if you're familiar with projection mapping, these are using projectors. Diba? Halos lahat naman tayo familiar sa projector, ginagamit natin ito sa classes, paggawa ng visual aid, but they use the projectors in a different way. Okay. Sa left side, this is in Japan. Maraming mga malalaking projectors na nagpo-project ng artwork. So, hindi na nagiging limited yung animation sa screen. Or dati kasi 'di ba nandun lang tayo well, it started sa papel, as we see in Zoetrope, and then nag-evolve siya into a screen sa film. Tapos yung film, nagkaroon na siya ng mga TV na dati walang TV, so pupunta pa talaga ng sinihan. Pero meron ng mga TV, so pwede na din ipalabas yung mga animated films. And then nauso na ngayon ang mga laptops or mobile phones, yung mga tablets ninyo, doon na natin nakikita. Pero in projection mapping, dito na lumabas ulit sa screen. Kasi for a while, the development was in the screen. Diba? Nandun nga sa paliit ng paliit yung mga phones, tapos biglang lumalaki na naman yung phones, yung mga screen size. So ngayon, yung animated content ninyo could be shown not in a rectangular setting, but in different shapes already because of projection mapping. So this is one future of animation. As you can see in the GIF dito sa right side, buildings na. Okay? Nakikita ninyo na yung content, animation content ninyo, pwede nyo ilagay dyan. We are, yung Robinson's Naga, meron din siyang Tree of Life na tinatawag where it uses projector. Pinoproject niya dun sa parang shape of a tree. And then they are partnering with Ateneo de Naga para mag-project ng mga animated contents doon. So we'll see how this will go in the future. So ito yung mga pwede natin i-consider when we are studying animation na hindi lang tayo limited na sa screen. Kasi syempre baka ang naiisip lang natin rectangular lagi yung medium natin to show our animated works. It could be any shape na dahil sa projection mapping, or balik tayo dun sa VR or sa AR integration, baka pwede na natin makita yung animated contents natin in the real world, augmented reality. Diba? Instead of a billboard, nakikita natin may mga billboards sa mga cities, maraming mga advertisements doon. Mostly we are seeing, of course, are still images. Well, sa Manila, meron dyan mga malalaking LED na pwede na maglagay ng animated contents. But through augmented reality, we can also do that without spending for a very big monitor na nasa mga buildings. Okay? You can even do away with the entire screens because if it's augmented anyway, as long as there are markers, may lalabas na dyan. So makikita nyo sa sky, meron na dyang nag-animate. So these are the future. I believe the future of animation. We will no longer be limited to a rectangular screen, but we can do anything through projection mapping and augmented reality. We can project, we can show our animated films in different medium. Okay. So yeah, very promising, I think, yung animation industry. So ano naman yung mga opportunities natin? Meron nga ba? Pag nag-aral ba kayo ng animation, meron ba kayong makukuha ang trabaho? Well, there are different local companies. These are local companies mostly in Manila, but recently they are moving out to the provinces. So we're hoping na mas mag-expand pa yung industry natin in the Philippines sa provinces like us. Okay? Kasi hindi naman lahat medyo congested na kasi yung Metro Manila. So we are hoping na ma-decongest by opening studios in different regions. We're starting naman may mga animation studios na nasa Cebu, meron na din dito sa Naga, I'm hoping in Cam Norte meron din, even mga small ones, of course, magsa-start tayo dun sa mga small companies or studios. Okay? So if you're familiar dun sa yung mga logo sa taas, the first one is ACTI, or the Animation Council of the Philippines. So we have it's not a governing body over all animation studios, but it's a parang sila yung nag-organize ng mga festivals like Animahinasyon, where opportunities for students and even companies na maipakita yung mga gawa nila, merong nag-organize. So, meron tayong Animation Council of the Philippines. Yung mga nasa right side niyan, mga members yan. Okay, so we have, the first one is FizzBuzz, that's actually based in Cebu. Neon Farben, yung may NEU, yung second na logo. That is parang Japanese yung may-ari na dito nag-set up ng studio. Also, yes, if you're familiar with Toy Philippines, isa na to sa isa sa mga matatagal na animation studio sa Pilipinas, yung Toy. When I was still young, yung mga pinapanood ko before na Dragon Ball Z and different anime, and apparently some of those are made here in the Philippines. Toon City Animation, matagal na rin itong company ito. Before, when they had a 3D department, one of their clients was Disney Junior. So kung kilala nyo, kung lumaki kayo ng dahil sa lumaki kayo na merong pinapanood na Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, isa sila sa mga gumagawa doon. Hindi naman lahat, of course. Pero outsourced ang ibang scenes doon sa Pilipinas. We also have Top Tech Animation Studios. This is more on 2D. Team Up is animation as well as gaming din. Sa baba, we have the GDAP. This is the counterpart of Animation Council or ACTI. Yung GDAP naman is for games. But of course, games are also a venue for animators or artists to expand. Okay? These are also opportunities for us. Dahil merong mga developers ng games, merong mga programmers, and we may not be wala tayong background doon. But what we see in our screen sa mga nilalaro ninyong games are created by artists. So if you are interested to work on games pero nasa art side, animation is also an opportunity for you. Can also study animation. Sorry. We have Pixel Mafia. We have Laguna Games, Tactile Studios, Rani the Games, Cool Apps, Synergy 88. At least yan mga members ng Game Developers Association sa Philippines. Yung mga nandito, these are studios. But ACTI and GDAP also have educational institutions that are members. So like Ateneo de Naga is a member of both. So ito yung mga partners namin when we look for internship opportunities. Ito na yung mga pwede natin puntahan dahil meron na siyang meron na kaming relationship with the ACTI and GDAP. Ito yung sila kasi yung ACTI and yung GDAP yung parang nag-organize together ng industry and academe, so that both will have will benefit from each other. Okay, so through these internship or placement programs, mas madali sila makahanap ng future talents, and at the same time for students, they have the opportunity naman to learn, to immerse themselves to the actual industry. Okay? So marami naman talagang opportunities. Hindi lang local, kundi of course international. Well, these are